Can record. Oh, what time is it? What time is it? It's what time is it? We said it's what time is it? It's Black History Musical Bites time with Marian Yesufu. It's Black History Musical Bites time with Marian Yesufu. Ooh, 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 ooh. Because, like, real talk, there's so much that we need to unpack, y'all. Like, literally, I feel like, honestly, we said it before. Black people totally left some gems behind that, like, aided in the growth of our this thing called the world and life, right? We just don't hear about it. And, like, we're here to just, like, talk about it and then sing about it and spiel about it and goo goo ga about it and nerd out about it and all those types of good things because it's Black History Musical Bites. Boop, 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 boop. And Marian Yesufu. Boom. Ah. Y'all, I'm so excited to have literally, let me just say her name, Katelyn Hempstead with us. And she's gonna tell me if I said it wrong because I tried. I like hesitated for a second.
I felt it.
I did. I hesitated. How was that? Was it right?
It is. Usually I pronounce it the other way,
it's
but
dead, isn't it?
Listen.
Let me say it again.
But the joy and the kindness in it, it doesn't matter.
Dog nabbit. Y'all, please help me give a round of applause to Katelyn Hempstead. She is with us today, and I'm so grateful for it. Let me just tell you a little bit about Katelyn. She is a writer, a comedian, and host of the podcast Lizard People, a show about conspiracy theories. I am a sucker for a good conspiracy theory, let me tell you. Y'all, give it up for Katelyn.
Hi. Oh, what an intro. That was a really lovely intro.
Oh, thank you for joining us today on Black History Musical Bites. What made you say yes? When we reached out and we were like, listen, we just would love some guests. What made you say yes? White woman.
Well, first of all, happy Black History Month to everyone. Listen, so I am a huge science fiction fan, and in college I finally found out about Afrofuturism, and part of your spiel was like, if you want to talk about Afrofuturism, and I was like, yes, always. I always want to talk about it. I get so excited about it. And I think, there's if I may just launch into my bullshit.
Yeah.
I think when you grow up white in America, you only see yourself reflected back at you from like all media. And then I went to college and I suddenly started to read novels and see movies and hear music that was not about me. And
how did you feel about that? Like, what did because your eyes did this wonderful white lady thing that goes, oh my God. Like, there's other people in the world. How did
genuinely
that feel like?
Great. Like, it felt great. I grew up in a community where there were like a lot of immigrants. And so I already had the experience of being like, there are worlds within worlds that are not within my access, and that's fine.
Amen.
And so it was like a real thrill to like finally have my little bubble penetrated by like shit that's not about me, that has nothing to do with me. And it felt great. It was like, cool, I can experience a whole other like way of living and way of perceiving the world through literature and art and music. And like, wow, like the world is so much bigger than I ever even realized. Like, not everything is a Marvel movie. And that felt great.
And I am in awe of it. The thing that made me go, wait a second, who this woman right here? Like, it made me do that kind of moment when you were like, I also wrote my undergraduate thesis on Afro-Caribbean fiction and constructions of race through immigration. Sean, I went, hold up. First of all, what school is letting white people do this? And what parent let this little cute little munchkin puff lady do this with her
Listen,
undergrad degree and money from
I
probably grants, loans, and parents? I don't know. Generational wealth?
First of all, it's
Tell
all
us.
of those. I went to a UC, which are racist institutions. I had generational wealth.
Dog nabbit. Oh,
I got a couple of loans, which are easier to get when you know how to navigate the system when you are born white. And grants and shit. I went to UC Davis,
oh,
and
it's a
they
lovely
just
school.
it's a great school and I loved it. And boy, maybe I shouldn't have tried to speak on this, but fortunately, I had an advisor who was like, "Babe, just keep it to the books. Don't bring out any don't try to speak on the real world as it actually exists. Just choose your
Mm.
texts, analyze them, like close read because I was an English major.
Okay.
Um, and so it was just like I just was really into like these 3 books in particular, and I noticed a common theme in these books, and I said, "I'd like to write about that," and the English department went, "Okay."
What do you mind if I ask what books they were?
Yeah, it was, Breath, Eyes, Memory by Edwidge Danticat.
Mm.
These are not speculative fiction, these are sort of like,
Peer reviewed stuff.
yeah, these are like they're novels that are all 3 novels are sort of fictionalized biography. Breath, Eyes, Memory, Lucy by Jamaica Kincaid, and Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde, which I didn't know that he was bad. I didn't know at the time. I
Oh.
apologize. Sorry, there's a lot of problematic stuff.
Oh man.
But
And then wow.
I just was
Wow.
so excited about these novels and like just so passionate about them, and I clocked that like a common theme for the main characters was this experience of like living in the Caribbean and having identity and race be this like really complicated, nuanced thing where they grew up, and sort of this experience of being able to be like, I am like a quarter this and a third that, or being able to say, like, I'm from this family, and that having more meaning than any sort of like racial makeup.
Mm-hmm.
And then moving to America, where race is like literally black and white. It's like, well, put yourself in the box. So which box are you in? And
Yeah.
and for the characters, that being like a very traumatic experience.
Yeah. Like don't put me in that box, please. I don't want to be put in a box. No, thank
Mhm.
you.
Because that
Interesting.
box determines all of your like
Access.
totally,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
and your experience of the world, yeah, and so
Yeah.
the part of the larger trauma of immigration in these books being this nuanced trauma of like, wow, I was a full person and now I am just a skin
Just
color.
this little tiny, yeah. I was born, I'm from Nigeria, and so I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
Was that
And
part of your experience?
absolutely. And, you know, but I'm also, coming from a motherland experience. So the privilege of coming from the motherland is having full access to my identity of being, I am a Yoruba. I am,
Mm.
I know exactly I'm from Abeokuta. I'm also from Ilesha land. So there's a privilege to that experience of knowing your full map, right?
Mm.
But then having to come here, and then I have to kind of give and take in order to survive in the social makeup. It's
Mm.
like, oh, wait, I can't, I have to be aware of why it is I have more access as an immigrant versus just being just black. Because
Mhm.
if I say, in my accent, well, my accent before was mushed out of me. There's the other thing, right? I slowly, probably fully lost my accent at 16, right?
Mm.
But before, when you hear me like this, oh, what is my name is Marian. And then when you hear me like that, there's more access that I have versus when I'm speaking like this and I'm like, well, what do you mean? Right?
Mm.
When I spoke like that, I saw those worlds and those doors kind of close.
because
So
people code you as either
exactly,
like, oh, like exotic, like
exactly,
from somewhere versus just like
exactly.
from
Oh,
here.
she's one of them. Yeah, she's one of them over here. And it's like, I'm okay
Hmm.
with being one of them over here. Like, that's a thing that I had to like accept. Like, all of it and all of us as Black is
Hmm.
okay and is enough. And I think that's where the healing starts to begin. And that's why this is what we're doing here, talking about it. Which brings me to what it is that I feel like you're excited about, which made me excited about Madam Octavia Butler. But you're reading the other one, so I want to hear about that one. But like, I just want to put this book up because
I love
fabulous,
Kindred. I
right?
love Kindred. I think it asks some of the most like amazing and disturbing and beautiful
Oof,
questions in science fiction and speculative fiction. I
oof,
love
oof.
yeah, I also really love Parable of the Sower. Like every time I read it, I experience it in a new way, and it's just like so prescient and like really feels like the only science fiction I've read that is just like 100% coming true uh, in a way that just really sucks.
Whew, right. Whew. I always go, well, why don't they have any Octavia Butler films out? Why haven't they like adapted? Do you ever wonder, like, what
I've
are your
looked
thoughts
that
on that?
I've looked that up and I mean racism like I think is probably part of it in that like
Mm,
it would have to be a black woman lead
creator,
and
right?
oh, yes, black woman creator, like a black woman on screen like as the complicated hero.
Oof,
Uh and also just like her stuff is fucking dark. Like it's bleak.
it's kind of bleak. It's low key bleak.
Yeah, and I think, like, Hollywood likes a neat pot like, an
Package.
yeah, totally.
Yeah. I think of
Um,
when you have you watched like films by Jordan Peele, which are so avant-garde and wonderful.
yeah.
Um, do you feel something like when it gets to the end? Because I feel like he does do bleak, and then at the end, it's like nice packagey Hollywood, and I guess we need that. It's nice. It's nice to
Yeah.
watch. What do you
I
think about?
remember I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, no, please, please, please.
Okay. I remember hearing that for Get Out, he shot, he like wrote and shot an alternate ending where like the main character is in jail, like he is in prison for murdering a family of wealthy white people.
White people.
Yeah, and then sort of like test audiences were like, "Oh, I feel awful.
Oh,
I feel so bad about that ending." And then he sort of realized, or he said in interviews that he realized, like, we've already, the second you see the police lights, you've already experienced that ending. And
yeah,
so it is like the more unexpected and the more like narratively exciting ending to not have that happen,
facts,
which I
facts.
just thought was so interesting because, like, yeah, anybody who like reads the news and exists in the world is like, of course, that's how it happens. Of course, there's
Yeah.
no happy ending for this character.
Yeah, I was tasked with like putting together some black horror show, and I remember going, "Oh, you're surprised that what black people are scared of isn't necessarily like being murdered by like some weird crazy maniac. I'm scared of the white librarian lady that might take my driver's license." It's true. I'm scared of redlining. I'm scared of going into the rental office with my partner because they might not let us get this fancy apartment because I look like the way I look. That's what I'm scared of. That's my horror story. That truly is scary,
And
right?
I think it's so telling that for white people, the ultimate terror is like, well, I bought my home in the suburbs and I deserve it and I own it. Oh, but what if someone comes and tries to take it away? Like, and it's like,
Interesting.
it's so, yeah. I mean, in recent years, just hearing more about like, that's not really my fear from like Black
Yeah.
creators is like really educational.
It's wild. It's wild. Well, tell us more about Madam Octavia Butler. Like, tell us, um, and her role in Afrofuturism. I like to call her the mother of Afrofuturism. And then it's really interesting also like to read books now by African women writers who are in that Afrofuturism world, and they also like now stamp a different kind of hashtag. They're like, I'm African futurism, not Afrofuturism. Like there's a difference. What do you have you read others and how do you feel about it? I know that was like five questions in one.
But all really exciting questions. I mean, like, first of all, Octavia Butler gone way too fucking soon. Like,
Oh,
I didn't even get to finish some of her series. Like, really, really sucks that she is not around to sort of be like an elder in this field.
oh, oh.
Sharing knowledge. Yeah, I think that I have not read a ton of African futurism. I've mostly read like American and Caribbean like Afrofuture, like do I have this on my I love this book, Midnight Robber by Nalo Hopkinson. Big,
Ooh.
big fan. Which is it speculates this future in which basically like human beings have just sort of given up on racial harmony, and every sort of pod of the world got their own generation ship, went out in different directions, and for like thousands of years have been on different worlds, like
Ooh.
creating. Yeah, so it's sort of like white people just don't exist
Yeah.
in this novel. And it is a fully Caribbean planet. It's like a fully like everybody speaks in like particular dialects, like everybody's like they're just like
It's great.
it's so cool. It's so cool. And it's just this idea of like a fully Caribbean world with like
World.
high technology, but still like keeping to the traditions of like Jonkanu and like Mardi Gras and
And it's enough.
Carnival and
And
stuff.
it's enough. It's enough.
And like what problems in society arise when like we remove, which I think is like what the best of speculative fiction is like
Right?
when we take away the problems. So I love Star Trek. Like if you take away money, like what are the problems that human
That
beings are going to create?
still arise, right? Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, no, I like to say like from where I'm from, oh, we are the dominant group, right? My Nigerian president is very much someone that looks like me. My doctor looks like me. My nurse, from every different socioeconomic level looks like me. Yet we still problems still arise. So
Hmm.
like we there are African countries living that existence. And so still problems arise, right?
Hmm.
Like we're still human and still create issues outside of um, white people
Yes.
being the
Not to say
problematic ones,
right,
you know?
which we are, but
Yeah,
it's
y'all are. Oh, let me tell you, y'all are the epicenter of it. But like, it's interesting, like when someone's like, "Oh my God, what is it like to like go and visit Nigeria?" And it's like, "Oh, it's cool." But it might be like shocking to be like, "Oh, everywhere I look, oh, everyone looks like me. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and chill." Because I'm used to like the eyes, people staring, but
hmm,
like no one's staring because everyone's like, go do your thing, girl. And it's a
hmm.
wonderful experience and it's also emotional and all of these types of things. That's why I encourage Black people to go to Africa, go to any little place that you can to experience that because it's so wonderful.
Yeah,
So
having
wonderful.
lived like that my entire life, I can't even yeah. Wow, what an experience.
It's cool. That's what it is.
The
It's really cool.
motherland.
Okay, so now tell me, if you could speak with Madame Octavia Butler, what's something you would say? What, like, you ever think about?
Oh, yes, definitely. I think yes, I would ask her like what is a good person? Like what is a moral person?
Mm.
Like how because I think so much of her work deals with like the complex agonizing task of trying to make the right choice in
Oh.
like horrible situations. And I'm sure she would say, like, I don't know, or figure it out for yourself, but like she just is so fucking smart and wise in her work that like I think I would just not even so much like how do I be a good person because like that's my job, but to figure that out, but like what is morality? Like what does a good person look like?
Right. Because she's dissected it so much, right? That like
Totally.
even a character that is feasibly a good person has these flaws. So you're like, oh no, but that's someone I love. That's my dad. That's my uncle. But he did this thing. And how do we come to reckon with it? And it's
Yeah,
like,
her characters are so human in a way that like really just like sucks you right in and like makes you feel like you're living in her work.
oh, okay. All right. What is a
What would
good
you
person?
ask her?
Ooh. I would ask her. Oh, that's a good. I'm stuck because I don't.
You asked me a good question.
Oh, oh. I I probably would fangirl out and be like, "Well, what would you want to write? Is there anything that you haven't written that you'd want to write?"
Oh, yeah.
But I'd also be like, "Can we get a happy story?" I'd be like, "Can we just get like a really dope fairy tale?" But
They're
like, I
just
know.
I haven't read the there's one of her series that I haven't read that I have heard is a little bit happier, but yeah. Yeah, that would be even just a novella, just a
Just
quick.
another. You know what? That makes me. I'm always like in our conversations. I'm like, well, where can we pull source from to like create this like 2 minute song that we're about to do, right? And I'm like, there it is. The statement is Auntie Octavia Butler. Can we get a happy story? Like that's where it is. I don't care what we create with this, but that's where we are.
I love
Auntie
it.
Butler, can we get a happy story?
Just a crumb of joy.
Just a crumb of joy. Ooh, I like that. Okay, here we go. Just a crumb of joy. 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 The crumb of joy. Just a crumb of joy. The crumb, just a crumb of joy. Just a crumb of joy.
Little bit of joy. Just a little bit of joy. Just a character who's happy and they feel some joy. And at the end, they feel better than at the beginning. And the arc goes up, and the arc goes up, and the arc goes up, and the arc ends up.
Just a crumb of joy. Just a crumb of joy. Just a crumb of joy. Just a crumb. Crumb of joy. Crumb of joy. Crumb of joy. Crumb of joy. Oh, oh, oh,
Ooh. What if a lady had good things happen? Aliens came and they were nice to her. What if the aliens gave her the technology and then the world was better by our black heroine's acts?
crumb of joy, just a crumb of joy. The crumb of the crumb of joy. He's the crumb de lamb, da do da da, da ba da boo ba ba do ba ba. It's the crumb of joy, crumb. Hi,
Joy.
ha, He hey ha, he hey ha. Yes, that creme. My name is Tamika. My name is Tamika Whitfield, and I'm chilling currently in Octavia Butler's book, and I'm saying to herself really quickly, nah, I don't want this white man to rape me. Nah, I don't want this white man to rape me. Nah, I just want to live my life, Miss Octavia Butler. Why? No, thank you. Can I please just chill right now? But it's okay. I realize the truth can't be whitewashed. History can't be whitewashed. We need to know the truth so we can do what? Do better. So I get it. Do better.
What if white people weren't so shitty? Maybe then we would deserve a positive Octavia Butler novel.
What if white people weren't so shitty?
No wonder Afrofuturism exists, cause what if the only way that black people can be happy is if white people also don't exist? Something to think about. Ooh.
Oh, and that's how we end it. Something to think about.
I don't know. I'm gonna be thinking about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been my honor, my absolute honor to have Katelyn Hempstead on Black History Musical Bites.
Oh, this is such a fun show. I had a blast. Thank you so much for having me. Man, I'm gonna be thinking about it.
You gave us the bit. You said just a crumb of joy. I'm like, oh, there it is. That's all we need, yo. Where can we follow you, my dear? Where can we see you?
Boy, I'm on Twitter at Katelyn Hempstead, but without the D because my name's too long for Twitter. I am if you feel like listening to my podcast about conspiracy theories, the whole purpose of the podcast is just to rip them apart and do some goofs, and I have guests on and they choose the conspiracy theory and they try to convince me it's real, and then at the end of the show we go, it's not real, but it's not. Marian, thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, thank you. It's been the best. It literally has. Y'all, it's been Black History Musical Bites. Have a blessed rest of y'all's day.